Okay, hi, I'm Krokemeyer. I'm a Super Metroid speedrunner, normally. And this is Super Metroid X Fusion. You're probably watching this because you want to speedrun X Fusion any percent, and Nightmare sucks. So, hopefully this serves as a guide to help improve your Nightmare fight. So to start, we enter the room, start charging a shot as Nightmare is spawning. I'll get into the opener later, but that helps you get the first shot in very fast. And first I'll start with the two methods to deal with this first phase of the Nightmare fight. It's very mechanically easy, but there are two ways to deal with it. The first is crouch, diagonal shot. You don't even need to crouch if you don't want to. I crouch though. And just walk Nightmare down, kind of, as he goes back and forth across the room, while dodging the beams. That's the first method. The other method is kind of harder, but it might be faster, I don't know. But it involves going under Nightmare and morphing to avoid being hit, being right between in the wings. But as you can see there, you risk getting hit by the beam on the right, because it's right at the level of morph. So in order to not do that, I'll start the fight again, just so I have more health in case I get hit. You morph, unmorph, hard shot, and then back out. And then you can go back in, and keep going, and just alternate, so that you don't get hit by those beams. Which is a lot harder, but the reason I think it's slightly faster is because your beam is closer to the point where Nightmare needs to be damaged, so you can get the charge started a little faster. And it reaches Nightmare faster, so if it's your ending shot, it'll be... As you can see, it has travel distance if you're doing this. It doesn't have that travel distance if it's the last shot of this phase, which would matter, even if the rest of this doesn't actually come out slow or come out faster, depending on which method you use. That's all there is to the two methods of this phase. Technically, supers do work here, but the mechanics of this fight, they fall to the ground instantly. You can still hit Nightmare with supers if you are right up next to the engine, but you want your supers for when Phase 2 starts, and I just wouldn't really recommend it in general because you take so much damage. But that is an option. So now there are two intricacies of this first part, this gravity phase, that I want to go over. The first is the opening. So when Nightmare starts, he'll immediately shoot two beams at the floor. And what you can do here is either be safe and jump it, and then start your fight, or, which is why we're charging this charge here, fire it very fast. I missed there, but then dodge those beams after. And that gets you one extra shot. It's a little riskier, but it's not that tough. And to get even more reaction time out of it, which is why my save state is like this, if you time it just right, like that, you can shoot the first charge shot through Nightmare's wing as he is spawning in, but it'll collide with the engine as Nightmare becomes tangible, which gives you just slightly more time to react to the first beam shot. I missed, but as you can see, there's tons of time there, if that had hit. That one went through, I was a little early. Late. Early. Just right. And then you have plenty of time. So that's the opener. The other intricacy is about how Nightmare does the patterns. So as you've probably noticed, Nightmare swaps between firing a beam at the floor level and a beam above your head. So the one above your head you don't need to do anything about, it just won't hit you. The one under you, you'd need to jump over. Unless you want to tank 120 damage. Be my guest. But usually in this fight, this corner is pretty safe from Nightmare itself. The beams are an active movement of dodging, but this corner, once Nightmare's backing you into it, just stand in it, and Nightmare can't hit you. Nightmare's wings, it's important to note, deal that much damage. I think that's 96. Yeah, 96 damage from Nightmare's wing, while Nightmare's head deals 120. So if preferable, you want to get hit by Nightmare. If you're gonna get hit at all, you want to be hit by Nightmare's wing. The beams also deal 120. So the reason I've explained this, how this works, is because on the second pattern, so this is the first, Nightmare comes up to you, you're safe. On the second pattern, you can't actually do this, and it only applies here. As Nightmare's coming in, you'll see he's going to fire a shot at the bottom, and he comes downwards, so you'll get hit by the body. The way to dodge this specific instance, is, I'll speed it up. When Nightmare's here, right before it's about to fall down, that was really early, but right before it's about to fall down, you want to crouch jump. Speed it up. Here. Now. And nothing will hit you, because Nightmare will bounce off the corner, and then you're scot-free for the rest of the fight. Just do it as normal, which we'll do now. So that's the gravity phase. It's pretty easy to learn. Took a bit to explain, but you don't really need to count either, because it's just the same thing constantly. I don't know how many hits it takes. Jump over that. I'm doing the slow method because I'm not as versed with the Morph Under him method. If you miss, no worries. Just make do. And again, either moonwalk away from Nightmare as he's backing in on you, or just do a back jump. You can moonwalk to reposition a little too. You're doing the forward guard shots. There we go. So here's the hard part, is when Nightmare's done with that section and goes into phases 1, 2, and 3 of flying around like a lunatic and blasting you with a laser. So I've made a save state right at the end of this fight, or this part of the fight. So I'm now going to refer to Nightmare's face changes as phases 1, 2, and 3. When Nightmare's face is green like this, fully green, that's phase 1. When Nightmare's face starts falling off a little bit and it's like an orange, that's phase 2. And when it's really red and like at the bottom of the head holder thing, that's phase 3. As the phases progress of this section of Nightmare, Nightmare shoots beams faster and faster, and there's more of them. So as you can see, he's shooting beams. I'll stay down here, there's 3 of them right there, and they're pretty slow. But they get faster, and he adds more as the fight progresses, as he takes more damage. But before we actually start talking about that part of the fight, I want to talk about how he starts, like, moving. Nightmare, before he can go into this phase, always repositions to the middle of the screen, and then his mask falls off and breaks, and he starts flying in a random direction. So, if you want more reaction time going into that phase, you want to kill Nightmare further away from the center of the screen. Like this far away, you've got plenty of time to prep. It's slower, but if you need the prep time, it's good. Now I'll show if I kill him closer, like really, really close. Like here. Much faster. So I'm going to use the prep time to start this fight every time, so I can show off how to get a cheeky 1 super. Maybe 2. You could also do that with a jump, but if you just time it correctly, like you can do it here. I was a little late. Time it with when Nightmare's repositioned, and you can get 1 or 2 supers off before the fight really begins. Sometimes that'll happen, he'll just charge forward and you'll take a hit. Unfortunate, if so. But yeah, there's the opening to this part of the fight. Now for the real explanation to begin. This is the part that usually wrecks you. So he's got this attack, this laser attack, and he's got the circling around and flying and doing stuff, shooting beams, and just being annoying in general. Those are Nightmare's that's Nightmare's entire arsenal. It's just those 2 attacks, that's all you have to get used to. Technically 3 if you count the circling itself as an attack. So I'll start with the regular circling, because that's a lot less intense of an explanation. Really, if I could compare it, if you are used to regular any percent for Super Metroid, it's kind of like the Ridley fight, where there's a lot of movements he can do. I don't want to talk about the lasers yet, so I'll just keep resetting. There's a lot of movements Nightmare can do, and you just have to kind of adjust as it happens, and you slowly get more and more proficient as you fight Nightmare more and more. The main thing that's useful here, though, is Nightmare's very weak to high-speed wall jumps. So in X Fusion, if you have high jump, or super jump, boots right here, and you wall jump off a wall, you get a ton of horizontal speed, which is very good against Nightmare, because he's so big, so you just fly right over the entire hitbox. Sometimes he'll juke you out and like start backing up and you'll fall into him, but that's pretty rare, if you're doing it well enough. And while we're explaining this, you'll probably also see me morph in midair. That gives you a little extra time, so if you notice, like, the beams are off sync, he's circling the wrong way right now. Like, if you're on this side... Okay, let's just get a new save state so I can hopefully show this better. You're on this side, and he's coming at you there, and you notice, like, the beams are about to be fired, and you're gonna fall right into him, like here. You can morph and unmorph to reset your vertical speed, just a little bit to get a little more time so the beams go off-screen, and you fall on the floor rather than onto them. I can't really show it very well, it's just, again, something you have to learn as you fight Nightmare more. It's not really something you need to pay that much attention to, though, because the beams in phases 1 and 2 of this part aren't really that bad of a threat. This is the real threat of this fight. But yeah, it's really just a fight you get comfortable with, to say the least. But I'll just do a little more movement so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'll try to explain one round here, like in full. So he's coming down, he's going to the right, so I wait, wall jump off. I just morph out of habit off the walls usually. He's coming left, do that. He hasn't really done it at all, but sometimes one of his patterns is he'll go here, then go that way, left, and then he'll like stop midair and then go right again, and he'll kind of play you for a fool. You just need to be aware of that and just stay on the right side. Really just stay on the side he's not and get ready to wall jump over him. Like this. And so on and so forth. Now, for the lasers. I'm gonna get more health before I explain them, so we'll start again. And I'll do this fight like I was actually fighting it, although we're not firing anything at him just yet. Here we go. And if you see him start to slow down, like mid-wall jump, that's a good sign to stop your wall jump and go back that way, because he's just going to go straight up instead of doing a full arc. That's another thing to be aware of while you're doing this. And then the lasers start. So, without doing any shots, the way these work is they're on a timer. He'll do about like 5 or 6 of them before he stops and goes back to this. But I wasn't firing there. The hard part is getting shots in while that is happening. So I'll get him back to doing that, and I'll explain. So here, you get hit a lot. That was really bad. I wasn't expecting him to do it so fast. I was thrown off guard a little. I'll prep supers. I'll just take a hit for this phase, just wait. Honestly, I'll make a save state right there. So the first one is the most tricky one to dodge. You just have to know where it is. Like here, it's happening here, so I can't wait down here, or else I'll get hit. It lasts too long. So if I see that happening, I have to quickly wait, get there. It's actually a really bad position. I don't think I've seen one as bad as this. Wait, get up the ledge, and then duck under the next one. Like, as the shots start charging, you can see them there. You have a little warning. That's when you jump, get down, jump over. I got hit a little. But you really only need to learn how to dodge the first one, because once I get into the shot firing pattern, it's pretty, like, it stays consistent. You just need to get the first one into the pattern. So here, 3, you can try to get a cheeky angle shot, but really it's 3 per laser beam. This is a really bad, I'm gonna get a new one, because that's like, I've never seen one that bad. Figures it happens during the guide. I'm just gonna tank that. Ow. Start it up. There we go. No? Okay. Sometimes it takes a while. It's just RNG. There we go. Come down. That's much better. That's more like normal. So you just use this ledge to jump in between them and kind of time in your head how long the lasers last. And you'll be pretty much fine. Now I'll add shooting to the mix. You can also use the sound cues, actually. I'll explain that off a little more before I start shooting. I don't use them, but you can use the sound cues. So it's like 2, or it's 3, I just heard it. It's like vrew, vrew, vrew. It's 3 and then it's done. 3 little like charge sound effects. And then the laser's done, then it waits like half a second and starts the next one. So if you're more auditory for this fight, you can use that instead. I just time it in my head. Sometimes he'll be high enough up that if you miss your jump, you can just morph and the laser will end before it actually reaches you on the ground, and then you start jumping between the ledge again. So call him as you see him, but for the most part, that ledge is your friend. Very much your friend. So now I'll begin shooting him with 9 health. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I caught the platform there. That's pretty bad of me. Okay. Now he's at a different position. Go. 1, 2, 3. I didn't go down quick enough. It's still really hard. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You kind of adjust a little bit too if your jumps aren't consistent every time. Just adjust to how your own timing is, and shorten your hops to get, or even do morphs to lower your hitbox a little bit. Just do what you see fit, but in general, this is the pattern. 1, 2, 3. Diagonal if you want to. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think that hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he'll go back to normal. So I think you've got the laser attack. That's your best chance, your best opportunity in this fight to get damage off. While he's flying around now, I'll restart the phase entirely. This gets a little more tricky. If you want to be faster about this fight, you can get some shots off while Nightmare's flying. He just went straight into lasers, wow. That's really good if you were speedrunning, since that's the pattern you want him to be in. So morph, and try to get shots in when you turn around. So now he's doing this. Just adjust. Start timing. 3, 2, 3. I do want to try to get some shots off while he's doing this, though. 1, 2, 3. Then you start jumping. Here's where the movement gets a little tougher, because before I was just mindlessly jumping around him, not trying to hit him. So this will influence his patterns a little bit. But it's not too different from what I explained. Or really at all. It's just the movements are a little more erratic. I'm also forgetting to try to get the timing off on the first shot. Like that. Voila. You can also do some angle shots if you're feeling zesty. Especially if he's starting the laser attack, he does a little stalling before it actually begins, so you can get like 2 or 3 extra supers off while that's happening, if you're doing diagonals. You can also morph. Sometimes Nightmare will just like hover on the floor, but slightly be off the ground, and you can morph under the wings. It was a while ago, but I'll say it again, because it's relevant for this part too. If you need to get hit by anything in this fight, try to get hit by the wing, because it does the least damage, at 96 damage, while everything else does 120. Actually don't know how much the like big laser does, but it's more than the wing. For sure. I can't test it there. But okay, that's enough of the general movement idea for the fight. I wasn't fast enough there. Like this. That kind of thing, where he just stays on the floor. He goes up just enough that this corner in morph is safe if he's doing that. I just didn't react quick enough. It's all just about... It really just is practice makes perfect, the fight. But now we'll get into the phases. We'll go into the other 2 phases, because I've just been showing phases 1 and 2. Actually, before that, there's a much more important thing. I should talk about my loadout. So, for any percent, the route is pretty up in the air right now. It's only like week 1 of X-Fusion even having been released yet. So we don't know the full specifics of the route yet, but currently you are going to early Notori and getting Plasma Beam. You're also getting the Super Jump Boots from Zazabees. And you're getting Supers from Croc. Now Supers do more damage than Plasma Charges. You can use Plasma Charges, but they're not really worth the charge time it takes. And it's better to just grab some supers. But the most relevant part of this fight is the reserves. So you get one, I have 2 here, because in my own routing, because I'm not that skilled yet at this fight, I'm getting the Reserve X in Sector 2, Tro, from the Caterpillars, and the one in Sector 6, Knock, leaving the Auxiliary Power Station. That one you are probably getting in the run, so you will have at least one. Why? Because you only have, like, 20 missiles. I have 23, it might fluctuate depending on your route by a few. But Nightmare takes around 50 missiles to kill. And a Reserve X gives you 4 missiles every time it refills, and it regenerates as time progresses without you doing anything. I don't know the specifics, it's probably like 7 seconds, 5 seconds. But it just refills as you exist in the game and aren't dead. And being able to just tap a button for 4 missiles is a lot faster than charging up like 5 plasma beams or getting more missiles in total, which is why you're probably getting at least 1 reserve. On the other half of the reserves, it gives you health. 32 health every time. And they recharge at the same time, so every time a reserve refills, you'll get both. You'll get one of both, which I'll try to live long enough to show. There's one, you can see it in the HUD, it turns blue, and it's back. If I only use the health, it turns green, so you know the ammo is there, but the health isn't. And just, you want to be eyeballing that the entire fight like your life depends on it. This is the most important part of the fight. And staying alive and being able to kill Nightmare is the 4 missile refund. So every time you have used missiles in the fight and you see like 2, generally you want to open the map, you want to reduce the amount of times you open the map. So when you see both slots filled again, that's when you want to open the map, use both your missiles, your missile reserves to get 8 back, and if you need health, use the health. And if you need more health but you don't need missiles and you have a reserve, like, by all means go into the map and open the reserves and get health. It just depends on your level of mastery over the fight, but this is how you do most of it for this phase. So I'll start over again. Another important thing about the reserves is that if you can time it well, which I'm trying to do here, that's too much damage, I got hit by his head. His head is really big, like it extends into his back. The wing is a pretty small hitbox if you want that 96 damage. Okay, I'll make a save. So that's going to kill me. So if you know you're going to get hit, Super Metroid can only kill Samus if she is physically in the game. If you are in the map, you are stuck on 0 health if you got hit right as you were pausing. Or it can only kill Samus when she's, like, fully in the game. If the game is pausing, like, in the middle of the fade transition, like here, it can't kill Samus. And you can use this time, if you have a reserve, to pop one, get iframes, and stay alive. You can use that to your advantage during this fight. So, the main use case I've found for it is this laser attack. That's where I usually use it if I need to, is just wait at the bottom. If the laser attack is happening, get hit on purpose so you can time the map, use the reserve, it brings you back alive, and then keep the fight going. That only works if you are going to die on the next hit. If you have like 3 tanks, I have 3 tanks here. If you have more than 1 tank, or more than like 120 health, or your reserve pop is going to give you more than 120 health, like there, it's more it's more worth to use the reserves before that happens, because now you have an extra hit and a chance to open the menu and revive yourself. Takes a little getting used to, and it's a lot of menuing. But just find times where you can do that. So in general, you want to keep yourself really healthy. So like here, I took 1 hit, I have both reserves, usually like the fight would have gone on longer, I'd grab both missiles here while I'm at it, and I'd refill my health, and then wait for them to keep going. I think that's enough about the reserves. now we'll get into the other phases. This is really the last chapter of this fight, which there should be in the video if I'm not lazy. You can skip where you want. Probably should have said that at the start. But okay, so I'll be in the pause menu while I explain. Nightmare is phase 1 of this, like, flying part. Takes 11 supers before it transitions into phase 2, where his face, like, starts falling off. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do that. Pop these. Really, in that scenario, you'd only pop one of the reserve healths, because you want the other one in case you get hit again. 11. And he goes into this phase. So now he's shooting a lot more lasers. And he's just being a little more aggressive. So this second phase is the important one. This is the one you need to get out your mental calculator. Because you can use the visual of Nightmare's face for phase 1 to know when he started that phase. But once he reaches phase 2, you need to be counting. Because phase 3 is awful. He's shooting lasers every 5 seconds. That's like a generous amount of time. What am I talking about? Every like 0.5 seconds. And it's just really hard to run around and dodge. So once he enters phase 2, which I'll get him there, let's just start the fight over. 1. Make a save state here. Just for the purposes of the guide. Juke him around. I'll be a little quiet, probably. That's just really bad, actually. My mistake. I'll also be using the reserves now. Like, this is a proper me fighting Nightmare. That was bad. The wall jumped. It's also worth noting, you want to use your missiles as soon as possible so they can refill faster. Like, if you wait to refill your missiles, you're wasting time that the Reserve X is taking to refill while you're in the fight. Got hit. Forgot where I was. And here's phase 2. So phase 2, I've hyped it up enough. You need to count to 19 once he enters phase 2. It takes 20 shots to enter phase 3. You need to count to 19 like your life is everything about this fight, or else you are going to die. So now I will do that in real time. Enough explaining. Let's fight Nightmare for real. Might take a couple of attempts. But once I've counted to 19, I'll explain why. Like, more than I have. Okay, he started phase 2. I'm going to make a save state here, for the sake of the guide. 1. I missed. 1. Get hit by the wing, though. Like there, if you need to get hit, that's 3. You need to get hit, try to get hit by the wings. 4, 5, 4. And if you're not sure, just count to like 18. It's not that big of a difference. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got hit. Ow. My timing's off. My timing was really off. Okay, this is back at the start. 1. 2. And, like, I wasn't using reserves there either. 3. Gonna refill. That didn't hit. 4. Gonna do this. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're doing it right. Is a little slow there. At 9. Watching my reserves. There's 2. I'm gonna refill. I'm at 9. 10. It's just a lot to keep track of. 11. 12, 13, 14. 15, 16, 17. 18, 19. Now we're at 19. So now, once you reach 19, if it happens before he's doing a laser run, like a laser ladder like that, it's very good. It's very good if you reach 19 before he's doing one, rather than while he is in the middle of one, because then you have to wait an entire another cycle. Once he's reached 19, you want to stall the fight until he begins another laser cycle. Nice save state. Just save stating a little closer, so we don't have to sit through all of this every time. Like here, he's gonna begin one. 1, 2. So as you can see, we counted correctly. His face melted a little more. You want to kill phase 3 entirely in the laser cycle. I think it's like 15-ish shots. I never counted for real there. Because the most important aspect of this is just that you end phase 3 before it starts. I'm being a little sloppy here because I'm just trying to explain, but like after this I will give some true example fights. Because Nightmare's just locked into this until he can begin the next attack. As we did it right, we killed him, and then it's the Core X. You want to kill phase 3 while he's in the laser ladder, which is why you need to count to 19. If you don't count correctly, or you don't kill him in the laser ladder, it's still doable. You just want to get enough damage off that you can, like, do it comfortably. Let's say I get, like, I'm sloppy, I get, like, I'm only getting 2 per hit of the laser on the wall, and now he's not dead, and he's done with the lasers. Well, dang, he's gotta wait a little second, but now here come the beams. As you can see how fast, he takes a bit to charge up, but now once he's started, the beams start going, and that wall jump becomes much more deadly. Because as you wall jump off, you're much more likely to just fall into a beam and get hit before you can react, before you can open the map, like that. And you just need to try to kill him. So now he starts. And like here. So now he's firing. I would have gotten hit by that if I hadn't unmorphed. The reset fall speed, I got hit. It's just really bad in all directions. You can do it. And like hopefully he'll start another laser cycle here. Is what you would want to hope for in phase 3. But it's just ultimate. That was really weird. I've never seen that. He was dead and he's still fired. But yeah, you just want to kill him before he starts that. So now, with all that out of the way, I'll show you some actual fights. So we'll use the save state from the end of the first gravity half of the fight, and give some actual examples of the fight. So I'll be quiet and do it as I would in a run. This will probably be much more explanatory to you than my confusing ramblings about 19. Two. Like, that's a bait. He finally did it. You just want to go back right off the wall jump. At 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. If you can't see him, I just wait until I can. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm a little unsure, so I'm only going to count to 18 instead of 19, because I might have hit him one extra time. I don't want to start phase 3 right now, by accident. It's also a good time to get more missiles from your reserves, so you have enough to end him while he's doing the laser ladder. Once it starts. Here we go. Gonna do that to normalize. It's a little sloppy, but he's almost dead. I got enough damage off that I'm not really concerned. There we go. And there's Nightmare. Don't die to the Corex like I did there, though. That's embarrassing. And the Corex takes, I think, 3 shots with supers? I think it's just 3. And shoot it with the regular beam if you need more ammo, like, and your reserves aren't ready, it'll drop some X's if you just, like, desperately need health. So I'll go through another example fight again. Probably do one more after this too, just so there's some substance to the rest of the guide, so you can really see. I'm at 3. Might be at 2, but I'm gonna say I'm at 3 so that I don't overcount. 4. 5. 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, no, 12. I'm dead. Okay, that was pretty bad. Actually, it wasn't that terrible. I did still die. It's still a really hard fight, even with all these pointers in mind. Probably one of the harder fights in the entire speedrun. One. 2, 3, 4. 5. 6. 7. 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13. 14, 15, 16. Gonna refill. 17, 18, 19. Now we wait, we stall him until a laser. So that's like the worst point in time you want to get 19 finished, because now you have to wait an entire another cycle. For him to start one up again. I think it's now? No. It's now. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't know why I'm counting. He's at phase 3. Okay, I was like probably 1 away. But that was a pretty good fight. I should have opened the map. I was just trying to kill him before he finished. That was a pretty good fight. Refill. It wasn't counting, so I'm gonna assume I'm at 2. Because it just started, but I don't know what the count is. 3? 4. 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 1 didn't hit, so I'm counting there. That's 19. And now we just stall. Yet again. Really good health this time. That was a good showing. Hit me. Fine. Like, don't be concerned with how many times you're pausing. Unless you're, like, an elite runner at this already. Staying alive is much more important than, like, a few second time loss. Alright, here we go. I missed. That's a good start. Is pretty close. Like, you just want to get enough damage off in that ladder before this phase starts. If you're, like, really confident at the fight, you probably don't need to do that, but that's not really something a guide would say. Because this is meant to be a guide on how to, like, survive and do it fast, rather than do it optimally. So there we go, I was only, like, 2 off, and then don't die to the Corex. It's got 2.5 seconds of iframes. Just in general, all of them do. Oh, it's 4 shots. Okay. It's not 3, my mistake. And try to kill it here. Like, right there. So Corexes need to travel to the center before you can pick them up. So try to kill the Corex when it's right in that spot. And it also takes time to refill you after you pick up the item. So the less health you lose, the better. And the more missiles you'd end with. Like there, and then you've got Gravity Suit. So there is the comprehensive Nightmare Guide, the worst boss in the run. I hope this helps the speedruns, and hopefully you can finish some runs. Take care.